Okay, but Koopy, Daddy's got to do a little work real quick, and then, but so you can go play with your monies, okay? While Daddy's doing his work, is that okay?
Are we watching together?
Yeah, we're doing separate things, but we're working together.
Now we are stacking.
Welcome to View from the Top of the Goalpost. I'm Diesel, here sitting in my usual place. Not feeling well, so just getting that out there right away. It's that time of year. Of course, during the holidays is when you start feeling like crud, but football season waits for nobody. I missed last week. I'm back this week without my partner again. Life, man, tell you, gets in the way. But I couldn't miss 2 weeks in a row. I will get down to the nitty gritty here. Last week, Chad went 11-5. Well, I went 14-2, and that brings our season totals to I'm 150-74, and Chad is 121-103. Today I don't have as much energy, or I don't even really want to talk that much because I feel like crap. So today might be a little bit of a lightning round, but I have all my picks ready to go, and I'm going to do my best. So let's go with the first game on Thursday night at 7:15. We see the 9-5 Denver Broncos traveling to the 8-6 Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 2.5 with a 42 point over under. Fan differential is at 62%. I have Denver. I'm taking Denver, and I know Chad's going with the Chargers. I just feel like Denver is a team on the rise, and uh, the Chargers peaked. That's really what it is. I'm going with Denver in this game. The next game on Saturday at noon sees the 9-5 Houston Texans traveling to the 13-1 Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 3 with a 41.5 point over under, and 68% of the fan differential is on Kansas City. I am also taking Kansas City in this game because they just can't seem to lose unless it's to Buffalo. And Houston is not Buffalo. Houston's been having a tough time this year, a sophomore slump, if you will. And I just think when we get down to the end of this game, Kansas City is just going to be on top. The next game is also on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. We have the 10-4 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the 9-5 Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is favored by 6 with a 45 point over under. 80% of the fan differential is on Baltimore. I am also taking Baltimore. This was a tough game for me to pick because Pittsburgh's really good. Pittsburgh won the last meeting in Pittsburgh. I just feel that it's going to come down to the very end in this race for the AFC North, and this is going to throw a wrench in the works for Pittsburgh. Also, this is a big game for my fantasy football week. I am in the semifinals, and I have Lamar, I have Derrick Henry, I have bro, I can't remember his name right now. I have Boswell. I could start Andrews if I wanted. He's on my bench, or I could start Kelsey. Um, I can't remember who else I got, but yeah, it's a big game for me. So wish me luck. I got Baltimore in this game. Next game, moving on to Sunday at noon, we see the 3-11 Cleveland Browns traveling to the 6-8 Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are favored by 7.5 with a 47-point over/under, and 97% of the fan differential is on Cincinnati. I'm also taking Cincinnati because they're rolling right now. They may win out and finish over 500, but it's probably not going to be good enough to get in the playoffs. Cleveland is a dumpster fire right now. They even benched having brain farts. Jameis Winston benched Jameis Winston on Sunday during the game. And I just feel like the defense showed up against Tennessee for Cincinnati last week. They're going to beat Cleveland. It's bank on it. The next game is at noon on Sunday. Is the 7-7 Arizona Cardinals traveling to the 3-11 Carolina Panthers. Arizona is favored by 4.5 with a 47-point over/under, and 92% of the fan differential is on Arizona. And I have given up on picking Carolina. Thought they would beat the Cowboys last week. They did not. Arizona is legitimately fighting for the division, and they legitimately could win their division. And this is the perfect game for this time of year for them. I got Arizona in this game. Next, we have the 12-2 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the 9-5 Washington Commanders. The Eagles are favored by 3.5 with a 45.5-point over/under. 81% of the fan differential is on the Eagles. I am not going with the fans this week. I am going with Washington. If you watch this show, you know I preach about division games. Good teams have problems with division games. And I think that being in Washington, I think that this is the week Washington takes them, and we're going to see a 12-3 Eagles team. Moving on. Next game at noon, we see the 2-12 New York Giants traveling to the 7-7 Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is favored by 8.5 with a 42-point over/under, and 97% of the fan differential is on Atlanta. Atlanta has benched Kirk Cousins and is starting Michael Penix Jr., and I'm excited to see him play. I think that this is a good week to do that, even though the Giants do have a pretty good defense. They're not a great team. Wouldn't it be something, though, if Penix and the Falcons won out and somehow snuck out this division that they just handed to the Buccaneers, and Penix leads the Falcons to a win in the postseason? Wouldn't that be something? Nobody had that on their bingo card. I guarantee you that. So put it on your 2025 bingo card, because that's when it will happen. Still time. I got Atlanta in this game because the Giants suck. And that's just all there is to it. Even with quarterback starting his first game in the NFL, I think that he's better than what the Giants got. So we're on. Next game is the 12-2 Detroit Lions traveling to the 4-10 Chicago Bears. Detroit is only favored by 6.5. Don't ask me how that's possible. With a 48-point over/under. 97% of the fan differential is on Detroit, and so am I after losing last week, after hearing everything that Dan Campbell has said. Even though they're the walking wounded right now, they're still motivated. They still got good players. That's why they had 2 running backs. I know Montgomery's out for the year now, but Gibbs, it's all on you now. Chicago isn't very good. I don't know if Chicago's going to win a game for the rest of the year. And yeah, we'll see what happens with them in the offseason. I got Detroit in this game. Next game at noon, we see the 8-6 Los Angeles Rams traveling to the 4-10 New York Jets. The Rams are favored by 3.5 with a 46-point over under, and 91% of the fan differential is on the Rams. The Rams laid an egg last week. I mean, they won the game, but they didn't score a touchdown. It was one of the most boring games of the 2024 season up to date. The Jets played a roller coaster game when they probably should have used some of that clock at the end, but they came out on top. They still won the game. The Rams are traveling from Los Angeles to New York, and they're playing an early game, so it's going to be a 10 a.m. body field game for them, but I still think they're the better team here, and I think they're going to get the win. Classic Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford matchup, by the way. Go Rams. Next game, final noon game of the Sunday slate is the 3-11 Tennessee Titans traveling to the 6-8 Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored by 3.5 with a 42.5 point over under. 94% of the fan differentials on Indianapolis, and I don't really care because these teams aren't the greatest and they're not going to the playoffs, either of them. But I got Indianapolis because they're better, and Tennessee is just, I don't know how they have 3 wins. It is mind-boggling that they have 3 wins. But moving on to the next game, we see the 12-2 Minnesota Vikings traveling to the 8-6 Seattle Seahawks. The Vikings are favored by 3.5 with a 44.5 point over-under. 85% of the fan differential is on Minnesota. I mean, I would really love to pick Seattle, and I really love them to beat Minnesota. I don't think that's going to happen. After seeing both of these teams play last week, Minnesota handled the Bears, and Seattle was handled by the Packers. I think Minnesota is going to win this game. I don't think there's even much discussion about it. I think that Seattle is going to fall down in the division ranks, and it's looking like, I mean, they're still in it, but they're leaving it for the Rams and the Cardinals to come and pick up the scraps. So I got Minnesota in this game. Next at 3:05, we see the 6-8 San Francisco 49ers traveling to the 6-8 Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 1 with a 44.5 point over-under, but 56% of the fan differential is on San Francisco. I am taking the Dolphins just because they're at home and speed. I just think that, and the 49ers are just too beat up. I am taking Miami. That's all I really got to say about that. 3:25 on Sunday, we see the 3-11 Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the 2-12 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 1 with a 39.5 point over-under. 68% of the fan differential is on Jacksonville. And I have no idea who's going to win this game. I am going with the Raiders because they're the home team. I know they don't have a quarterback, but Jacksonville has McCorkle Jones, and I don't know. I'm going with Las Vegas in this game. And I know Chad's not taking Jacksonville because he just doesn't like Mac Jones. Next game sees at 3:25, we have the 3-11 New England Patriots traveling to the 11-3 Buffalo Bills. The Bills are favored by 14 points with a 46 point over under. 99% of the fan differential is on the Bills. Obviously, why would they be on the Patriots? Like, I'm picking the Patriots. No, I'm not. I'm picking Buffalo because Buffalo went into Detroit and scored 8 84 points, 48 points. Sometimes when we're sick, we get a little bit confused. And I just did right there. They scored 48 points on Detroit in Detroit. Yeah, they gave up 40 points, but they scored 48 points on Detroit. The Bills are the team to beat in the AFC. No question about it. I got the Bills in this game. I think that New England just do your best, and you're probably still going to have 3 wins and you get a top 5 pick, and that will be good for your future. Next, on Sunday Night Football, we have the 8-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the 6-8 Dallas Cowboys. Buccaneers are favored by 4 with a 48.5 point over under. And 85% of the fan differential is on Tampa Bay, as is this guy, because I like the cockroach better than I like Cooper Rush. Just start Trey Lance, Dallas. Just do it. What do you got to lose? You're not making the playoffs. Just start Trey Lance. But I think Tampa Bay is going to go in there, and saw what they did to Chad's Chargers last week. Dallas is worse. So I think Tampa Bay's got this game. I'm pretty confident in it. And finally, moving on to Monday Night Football, we have the 5-9 New Orleans Saints traveling to the Green Bay mother-loving Packers, who are 10-4, with a 14-point over-under. Packers are 14-point favors with a 42-point over-under, and 97% of the fan differential is on Green Bay, and 100% of diesel is also on Green Bay, because New Orleans, they don't have a quarterback, and they're just not going to be able to stop Josh Jacobs. It's going to be a fun night in Lambeau when the Packers clinch a playoff spot, 3rd in their division, 11 wins. That'd be great. That is the Week 16 slate, and I really don't have much energy left. I don't feel very good, so I'm going to go take a nap. But there's one thing I want to do before I pass it on to Chad. I want to congratulate the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the 2nd ever NBA Cup. And you may laugh because it's just the NBA Cup. Well, yeah, it is kind of funny that they have a mid-season tournament. It doesn't mean anything. But my players got a bonus, and go Bucks. Yeah. I know I kind of went fast tonight. If you have any questions for me, you can always put them in the comments, and I swear I'll respond. But I have nothing really else to say. I'm going to go take a nap, and then I'm going to watch some football. But I'm going to pass it on to Chad first. Chad, my good buddy, tell them about your locks.
Thank you, Diesel. And though we're not recording together, it was good to hear the sound of your voice. Hello, everyone. I'm Chad. Let us quickly do a recap of last week's betting locks for everyone. The LA Rams did cover and win the game with the money line, so we got that right. The Carolina Panthers did not win the game by 3. They didn't win the game at all, so the bronze lock was wrong. Kansas City did manage to cover for the first time of the year. Got that right. Houston covered. The Jets covered -3.5, so we got the Emerald lock right. Unfortunately, Washington did not cover the -7.5 against 2 backup quarterbacks, so unfortunately we got the gold lock wrong for the first time in a while. The Baltimore-New York Giants game did hit the over of 42.5. Cincinnati did cover -5. The Heart Lock did not come through because New England got trounced by Arizona because Gerard Mayo is not a good coach. Denver with the Silver Lock did cover -4. Buffalo, with the need to win lock, did win, so the money line hit. The LA Chargers put up a stinker against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so that did not hit. The Pittsburgh Steelers did not beat the Eagles. It was actually kind of an ugly game, so that didn't hit. The Cat Scratch Fever did not hit because Seattle got trounced with their backup quarterback by the Green Bay Packers. But then on Monday Night Football, both the Minnesota Vikings covered -7 and the Atlanta Falcons -4 hit with the Raptor lock. So overall, last week we went 10-6, and that brings our season totals to bonus locks up to 39, 37, and 2. The last chance / need to win locks are 6, 6, and 1. The heart lock is 5, 6, and 2. Cat Scratch Fever lock is 2 and 4. The Raptor lock is 7 and 8. The Emerald lock is 6 and 8. The Bronze lock is 7 and 8. The Silver lock is 9 and 6. And the Gold lock is now 11 and 4. So we are definitely still winning money, but we are kind of in that scary little zone. So hopefully these last 3 weeks are going to be kind to us. But let us get into the picks, or my picks for the week at least. And with week 16, I have a theme. I know I don't do this often, but I have a hashtag even, and it's hashtag over it. And you will quickly realize why that is my theme for the week as we get into these locks. But first of all, on Thursday Night Football, we have the Denver Broncos taking on the LA Chargers. Chargers are favored by 2.5 points. With the bronze lock, I will be taking the Chargers to bounce back in this game. Look, I know they looked like garbage against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the cockroach Baker Mayfield was just bacon last week. And when he's on, there's not a lot you can do, especially with Mike Evans also now really, really trying to get to 1,000 yards. I'm not talking about Tampa Bay right now, though. I think the Chargers can bounce back here. I think this is a low-scoring game. It is a divisional match. This is basically for second place in the West and for seeding in the AFC playoffs. Whoever wins this game will probably end up being the 5 or 6 seed, and whoever loses will probably end up being the 7 seed. So, really want to win this game. I think the Chargers can do it.
Oh, Dad.
Coop. Yeah, so in a low-scoring game, I'm going to take the more experienced quarterback in Justin Herbert over Bo Nix, even though I like both these teams, and I think they are both playoff contenders. I think these defenses just knock each other around, and probably going to be a field goal game. So give me the Chargers, and with the bronze lock of the week, I will be eating those 2.5 points. Next, we go to Saturday football because it's the holiday season and we get NFL action a ton, and it's going to be great. But first game on Saturday is the Houston Texans traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. First of all, I will be telling you I am taking the over in this game, which when I got it, it was at 41.5. So that's where I'm starting with that, the over on that. For who's going to win this game, I don't bloody know. Houston is a very up and down team. I don't think they're nearly as good as they were last year. They're definitely in a sophomore slump. But then again, Kansas City is just about the worst 13-2 team I've ever seen in my life, or 13-1, however many games they've lost. I don't know. It's so frustrating. They are a very annoying team, and they don't look that great, but that defense is just so dang good. I'll be taking the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. And I know taking the over seems crazy with how good the defenses are for both these teams, and Patrick Mahomes probably playing on a bum ankle. But I don't know. I just have a feeling, and I'm hashtag over it. So, yeah, I'll be taking Kansas City to win this game. Correct. Next on Saturday.
Be careful, Dad.
Got to be very careful. Next on Saturday Night Football, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Baltimore Ravens. Once again, in this game, I will be taking the over 45 points, and I don't actually care if it goes up higher. I don't know why, but both Pittsburgh's defense and Baltimore's defense this year just they give up a lot of points. I know that TJ Watt is on pace to maybe win another defensive MVP of the year, but I don't know. I just have this feeling that there's going to be a lot of points scored on Saturday Night Football, and Lamar Jackson absolutely kills it in quote unquote primetime games. I know this game starts at like 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock, depending on where you live, but it's still the only game on. I'm going to qualify it as a primetime game. So give me the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. Next, going to Sunday football. First game I have on my sheet is the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. Once again, in this game, I am taking the over of 47 points. Starting to get the theme, hashtag over it. Yeah. But to win this game, I will be taking the Cincinnati Bengals. Jameis Winston has been benched by the Browns. They are an absolute dumpster fire of a team. And the Bengals still have a very, very outside chance to make the playoffs. And Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are playing like MVPs this year. So I don't see a world besides the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals offense might be historically good, but their defense is definitely historically bad. So that's the only reason that I have any concerns with this game, but that's also why I am betting the over, and I am slamming that over. But next game on the docket, we have the Detroit Lions traveling to the Chicago Bears. And in this game, this is a need to win lock. I will be taking the Detroit Lions to win, and I will be eating that minus 6.5 points. Listen, the Detroit Lions are the walking wounded. I think I saw a meme today that they have 22 players on IR at this point, which is far and away the most in the NFL. It feels like the football gods are just taunting the Lions at this point, giving them this probably the greatest team they've ever assembled, and then just slowly picking them off one by one and sending them all to the season-ending IR. I feel for the Lions, but I think they need to win this game. The Eagles are nipping at their heels, especially after losing to the Bills this last week for the number 1 seed. And you still have the Vikings right there who are nipping at their heels for the division. In reality, the Lions could fall all the way from the 1 seed down to, the 6th seed if they don't keep it together. That's why even with all these injured players, I'm still going to eat those 6.5 points because the Bears are the Bears. I know they played them tough on Thanksgiving, but I think that this is the Detroit Lions are going to come in here and be the big dick Lions again and just slap it all over Caleb Williams and the whole rest of the Chicago Bears. So give me the Detroit Lions, and with the need to win lock, I will be eating those 6.5 points. Next, we go to the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Carolina Panthers. I don't have much to say about this game. Carolina, you really let me down last week. I thought maybe you had something, and then you got housed by the Cooper Rush-led Dallas Cowboys. I know Micah Parsons phenomenal, and he is definitely a man that I believe Dallas should trade for draft capital because they need a lot of other pieces other places. But you can't let him wreck your whole game. And you did. You let the number 1 guy on their defense wreck your game, and you have to know you're going in there to stop him. So, Carolina, I am not picking you again for the rest of the year. I feel like an idiot for falling for that trick last week. So give me the Arizona Cardinals, who are running the ball with mass efficiency with James Conner. And Kyler Murray is playing mostly mistake-free football right now, which is leading to them winning games and winning them handily. So I will be eating the 4.5 points, and I think that Arizona wins this game handedly. Moving on to our next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the Washington Commanders. Folks, this is going to be the Emerald Lock of the week because I will be taking the Philadelphia Eagles, and I will be eating the -3 points. Listen, I am heavily rooting for the Commies to win this game. And I think they could win this game. And really, by putting the Emerald Lock on this game, I am trying with all my power to curse the Eagles into losing this game because I really don't like Nick Sirianni. I frankly never met the guy, but I just effing hate the guy. Seeing his sideline antics and just yelling all the time, and he looks like a pissed off teenager. Like I can't take him seriously. And I know the Eagles are on a massive winning streak right now, and it's my own just idiocy that I hadn't been. What? And listen, I know it was my own hubris that I haven't been picking the Eagles to win any of these games because of my hatred towards Sirianni. But this week, I am picking them, and I'm still rooting against them. But this is the Emerald Lock of the week. I'm going to eat those -3 points. And listen, the Eagles are a really, really good team. And if I'm being completely honest with all of you people right now, if I had to, with a gun to my head, pick a Super Bowl matchup right now of two teams, I'd probably pick the Kansas City Chiefs to take on the Philadelphia Eagles because they're the only two teams that actually seem to be able to play defense, and they have proven that they can get there. So I don't know. I don't want that to be the Super Bowl in any case. I would be very pissed off. I'm still going to watch it, but I'm going to watch it with anger in my heart because I don't want to see them play another Super Bowl. But then again, I kind of got this feeling that that's the way we're headed. But yes, I will be taking the Philadelphia Eagles, and Emerald Lock of the week, eat those 3 points. Next game, we have the New York Giants traveling to the Penix-led Atlanta Falcons. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, or however you choose to identify, this once again is the Raptor Lock of the week. Give me that Penix. I am all in. I don't actually record them, but every week I write down my top takeaways. And a couple weeks ago, my top takeaway was that Kirk should be benched for the rest of the year. And hopefully you can get something back from him in the trade market. But you need to see what you have in Penix because you spent a very high draft pick on him. And if he ain't it, then you are really, really apt, Atlanta. So get Penix in there. This is still a phenomenal roster with a just bad defense at this point, and they aren't going to do anything. So even if they somehow won the NFC South because Tampa Bay collapses or something, they're not going to win a playoff game. So you need to get the rookie in there. And this is the perfect opportunity against a absolutely hapless and atrocious New York Giants team. So I will be eating those 8.5 points. And I am going to really, really enjoy seeing if Michael Penix is anything because truthfully, I'm not the biggest college football guy, but he was my favorite quarterback out of this last year's draft because he was basically comparable to a Patrick Mahomes for the last time someone did everything that he did in college. The only other guy was Patrick Mahomes who did it. And I don't know, you found another Patrick Mahomes, that'd be pretty freaking awesome for the Atlanta Falcons. So I got to stop saying so. I've been saying a lot today. Raptor Lock, -8.5. Eat it. Atlanta's winning this game. Moving on. Next game on the docket is the Tennessee Titans traveling to the Indianapolis Colts. Once again, I don't have a lot to say about this game. With a bonus lock, I will be taking the Indianapolis Colts and eating the -3.5 points. Will Levis has been benched. The Titans are terrible. I love Anthony Richardson, but he is a quarterback project for sure. I saw another meme the other day that his completion percentage this year, I believe, is like 45%, which puts him on pace to be statistically one of the worst ever starting quarterbacks to attempt 250 passes in the NFL for an entire season, which is just gross. I know he was benched for a few games, but he is erratic with the ball, and he definitely needs them a quarterback whisperer to get in there and help him with his game because he has all the tools.
In my room,
Okay, don't make a mess. He has all the tools to be a great NFL quarterback, but someone needs to help him out and put it together. I'm taking the Colts to win this game. I really couldn't care less. So let's move on. Next, we have the LA Rams traveling to the New York Jets. And once again, I will be taking the over in this game of 46.5 points. But give me the LA Rams to win this game. Yes, the Jets looked like a comparable team this last week, and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams turned back the clock and once again got their MVP caliber forms back. Do I think that could happen again this week? Definitely. But I believe far more in Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. I know they had a stinker of a game, only putting up 12 points against San Francisco last week on Thursday Night Football. But not only was that a rain game, but it was a Thursday Night Football game. And in general, those are just low-scoring affairs. So I'm not going to hold that against them. They have my favorite quasi-bye since they had the extra few days rest from playing on Thursday Night Football. So I think that they travel to the New York Jets and wreck smash. I know it's a long flight and everything like that. It's West Coast to East Coast. So I probably should be picking the Jets. But that is why I'm taking the over in this game, because no matter what, I think some points can be scored. And once again, I am hashtag over it. So give me the Rams to win the game, but with a bonus lock, take that over. Moving on, we have the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Seattle Sea Chickens. And with the silver lock of the week, I will be taking the Minnesota Vikings to win this game, and I will be eating those 3 points. Listen, Geno Smith is injured. The Vikings are, yes, playing on a short week. Yes, they have to travel very far, but after the way that Seattle looked against the Green Bay Packers with Sam Howell at QB, God, they might not win another game this year. They have no running game. Their defense is young, but there's some bright spots on that team for sure. Their wide receiver core is phenomenal, but they definitely need a new quarterback, and they definitely need a little more experience. This is the Seahawks I thought they would be. This is why I picked them to get last in the division. I know that Geno has been playing pretty good, especially in this little win streak when he wasn't throwing the ball 50 times a game, but he is now out, and Minnesota is attempting to, hey, maybe they could get the 1 seed even if everything broke exactly the way they needed it to. So Minnesota's got everything to play for, and Sam IC Ghost Darnold he might be the next guy who steals a contract, just like Mr. Kirk Cousins, because he's going to get paid in the offseason after the season he is having. And once again, it's probably my own hubris, but I just don't believe in Sam Darnold. But this year, he seems to have caught lightning in a bottle. And when you have lightning in a bottle, you just keep firing. And that's what Sam Darnold is doing. So give me Minnesota to win this game. And with the silver lock of the week, I will be eating those 3 points. And hopefully you are too. Moving on. Next, we have the New England Patriots traveling to the Buffalo Bills. I don't have a lot to say about this game. So I'm going to be taking the over 46.5 points in this game because New England can't play defense anymore. They give up like 5 yards a carry, it seems, every single time or more. They're just out of... The Patriots team is really making me sad. I've really fallen in love with Drake May. Honestly, that's probably my happiest thing that I was completely wrong about, it seems, is that I didn't like the draft pick. I thought that they should have traded it away to get a whole bunch more capital because this team clearly needs a lot of help. But I have been proven wrong.
Something different.
But I have been proven wrong that Drake May is probably a franchise guy. And I know it's only 1 year and it's not even been a full season, but I'm very excited to see his future. What I'm not excited about is this coaching staff. And I loved Mayo as a player, and he seems like a good dude.
I got this spoon, Dad.
Cool.
It's a big spoon.
Good job. Listen, I loved Gerard Mayo as a player. It seems that all of the players seem to really like him as a guy. But gosh dang it, is he a bad head coach. He is in so far over his head. He doesn't seem to know how to talk to the media. He doesn't seem to know how to manage the team. I mean, it's just week after week after week, there are missteps left and right. And as a Patriots fan, I just hate it because I think that the Crafts are probably going to stick with him for at least 1 more year because this was their guy. But that's just going to be another wasted year of Drake May's rookie contract. So, man, I really hope that in the offseason, the Patriots can move on from Mayo. Don't get me wrong, like you can keep him on staff, maybe drop him down to defensive, coordinator or something of that nature. But he's not a head coach. He's just not. And the Patriots are going to need someone to steer this ship because it is a couple-year rebuild still. So with that being said, I will be taking the Buffalo Bills to win this game, obviously. And I just hope for the best. And maybe Drake May gets a few more touchdowns. And maybe we go one game without him throwing an interception. But against this very opportunistic Buffalo team, I don't have very high hopes. Moving on, we now go to the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Miami Dolphins. Once again, to keep with the theme, I will be taking the over 44.5 in this game. Hashtag over it. And to win, I will be taking I actually didn't even write this down yet. So we will go with, let's go with the Miami Dolphins. Why? I don't know. This game doesn't truly matter in any sense of the word because San Francisco is completely out of it. And Miami, I do believe now, is statistically, or they have either like a 1% chance or less, I would bet at this point, to make the playoffs. So who cares about this game? The San Francisco 49ers are massively injured. I've been saying so much today. I got to stop it. Miami's been looking good since Tua came back mostly, but now Tyreek Hill seems to want out of Miami. So we all got to start worrying about that. I don't know. I'm picking Miami to win this game, but I'm going to bet the over. I think some points may be scored. Moving on, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, could I care about it? I didn't know I could care about a game less than this. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but with a bonus lock and to win this game, I will be taking the money line on the Mac Shuckle Fuck Led Jones Jaguars team because Las Vegas is just really bad and they don't even have Max Crosby. They don't even have Max Crosby anymore. So give me the Jags, I guess. Boo. Gosh, that's a bad game. Next on the docket on Sunday Night Football, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. Folks, this is the gold lock of the week. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I will eat those 4 points. Bucs are hot, folks. Baker and Mike are cooking. They are baking up a storm. And Lovie Smith has got this defense playing pretty well. He's once again going to save his job with another playoff season. I think he's a terrible head coach, but whatever. The Bucs keep winning, and Baker keeps baking. Dallas is a bad team. This is a lost year for them. You should really trade Micah Parsons. Get everything you can for him because you're not going to be able to pay him in any world what he is deserved or owed and what he knows he's worth. So right now, just get everything you can and hope for the best for next year. Hopefully Dak will come back and be healthy and the Dak of old and not the Dak that played this year. Moving on to our final game of the week on Monday Night Football, we have the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Green Bay Packers. Once again, I will be taking the over 42 points in this game. Hashtag over it. And I think that Green Bay might score all 42 of those points because the Saints are really bad. I know they once again almost beat the Commies. And if they would have got that 2-point conversion, would have. That was helped out by That was helped out massively by the wonderful officiating crew that they had and their timekeepers. Little sketchy right there. So yes, give me the Green Bay Packers in this game. Green Bay is trying to make sure that they stay in the playoff race. I know that it's really just down to seeding at this point, especially with Washington probably going to lose this week. That means that Green Bay basically will lock up the 6th seed. But yeah, I don't know. Green Bay is going to win this game. It's not a good Monday Night Football game. Hasn't been a lot of good Monday Night Football games this year. All right. Well, that was all the picks. I'm sorry that both Diesel and I sped run these picks a little bit this week, but Diesel was feeling a little under the weather, and I am once again just under the constraints of time as I'm a very busy man lately. Down in the comments, why don't you drop down there what your big plans are for the holiday season, if you have any. Otherwise, you don't do anything like that. Tell me who your MVP of the season is right now, and if it isn't Josh Allen, you better have a darn good explanation for that. Next week, we will be taking the week off as Christmas does fall on Wednesday, which is our normal record day. And with holiday shenanigans, both Diesel and I are very busy with us both having kids and families of that thing's nature. We'll be taking next week off, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you're like, commenting, sharing, subscribing, telling your friends, your enemies, your neighbors, your family about us. Hey, why don't you put on, I know we're not going to have a new episode next week, but you can put on an old episode and show your family how smart we are at your family gatherings. And then we'll have all sorts of new fans, and your family will like you even more for showing them a great podcast. For Diesel and myself, though, a very happy holidays to you and yours. Please be safe. I hope Santa Claus brings everything that you could dream for. And I hope that this world, 2025 is just a brighter year for all of us. But yes, I have been Chad. And as always, the only way to end this show is with my co-host classic catchphrase, let's go watch some football. Bye, and happy holidays. This has been a Visionaries Global Media production. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.